This March Madness picks for Friday edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by our free bracket challenge. $2,000 winner take all. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket.
Hey, it's Peyton Manning, and you're listening to SGPN. Let's ride.
One of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Hello, Sean. Happy first four. March Madness officially started.
Four. Joining us in studio, Colby Dant from the College Experience, aka Pig Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
I love that Hail Mary. We got Flutie to Phelan. We got Cordell to Westbrook.
Now the play worked, and of course St. Francis plus 3.5. One of my plays got home. First four expert off two. I've not lost a March Madness bet yet. Of course, if you're saying, Sean, what about the first half unders? As Ryan will tell you, the first half unders are a combined multi-unit system.
It's one
that
bet.
is.
I know you don't understand. People just
That is combined into one bet. So
we took some heat on the TCE front for that. The people coming in there the first game, they said, "You guys don't know what the fuck we're talking about," because
God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. So if you went 0-2 on the first half unders and you're panicking, oh my God, should I close out my account?
Yes.
Should I tell my wife I bet 32 first half unders? Please, honey, forgive me.
That's actually how I'm going to respond.
36 actually, but. Yeah, come on,
if
be a man, suck it up. There's 36 of them. There's gonna be some ebbs and flows, and 2-0 inside.
What are you doing? I mean, honestly, if you're asking that question, you're kind of a bitch. No offense to anyone who's asked that question already, but if your point, but that's a huge bitch move.
Yeah, come on.
We've just committed to a full weekend excursion. We have an itinerary. We have lots to do. And you get in the car and realize you got to stop and get gas, and you say no, thank you. Come on.
I don't know if I fully tracked your analogy there.
Well, yeah, the gas costs money, and they're pissed off they have to spend more money on the trip.
Okay, I get it.
They're that kind of person, you know.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Good times, Colby. That the Hail Mary from Alabama State. Was it the correct play? I mean, I know it worked, but
that's a tricky one.
But that ball easily could have gone out of bounds, or easily could have overthrown them, and then they have the ball right back.
Or
there.
you could. They tipped the ball. Like I think 6 people touched it, but or I think 5 people, but one guy did it twice, so 6 times the ball was touched. But if the ball just tips back to one of the guards, there's still like 2 seconds. He can get to half court and get a shot off. It's a little risky. But look, what the hell, man? You're in the NCAA tournament.
No, I love the aggression. And yeah, I appreciate it. And Mac, of course, I'm sure echoing your sentiments on social, pointing out, hey, this is why you don't get rid of the timeout advance rule, because it sets up fun, awesome, historic plays like this one.
I can't hammer that enough.
Cool.
I can't hammer that enough. Like that one is to me the one that I want most protected. You've seen this so many times. If that was a advance the ball, maybe you get a buzzer beater, but it ain't going to be that is classic. That we'll remember that one.
What I don't get is why, like, who is push. I know we talked about it during one of the major conference, I think SEC, kind of pushing the narrative on the broadcast, but and TV would be the answer to the question, likely. But unlike a lot of the other changes that also help the teams associated with TV, I don't see how this helps the teams associated with TV.
Yeah,
and it does change the game more than just like a little end game scenario. I mean, think about how many more possessions you can squeeze into a game now because you can advance the ball.
The irony is, I believe the NCAA did about 3 or 4 commercials for the tournament a year ago, and one of them was the Bryce Drew, and the other one was Leitner. Now I think they might have had the Jimmy Valvano shit in there too, but two of the three most iconic moments, if that's what they're deeming iconic by being able to play those as commercials, come from not being able to advance the ball. And I think we got another one tonight because I think that, I mean, how funny was that shit? I heard, I was in here recording. I had it on the TV here, but I heard the bet detective outside yelling, and it's like that's a unique thing because you saw the ball hit off 6 people.
Yeah, it was a crazy play, and also the St. Francis team reminded Colby, as Danny Dumbshit is pointing out, tipped us a couple bucks
Shout
here.
out to Danny Dumbshit.
Urging everyone to read the George Mason football. Colby pointing out that St. Francis, even though they only have 1,900 students, does have a division. What is it?
FCS, no,
FCS.
And they beat an FBS this year.
FCS
Kent State,
football team,
yes.
and George Mason, who has 40,000, and Daryl Green as the AD, don't have a football program.
Daryl Green and Brad Edwards, both former NFL players, were part of that administration there. What are we doing? I mean,
what's the reason?
I would just say, I mean, the Redskins even offered to buy them a state, like build them a stadium where they could have their training camps back in like 2008. And George Mason's like, no, we're okay. Meanwhile, their rivals, James Madison, just two hours away, are just sitting over there loading up in all sports. Doesn't even matter. They're coming on in every fucking sport. And a lot of that comes from the money they make in football. It's amazing. You know,
it is difficult. It's difficult to understand the decision to choose to not compete when you can obviously compete.
Even more so when you realize that like that's been a Redskin city for a long time, and half the fan base is pissed off because of Dan Snyder. Half the fan base, another half's pissed off because the name change. So it's just like,
well, now they're
you
back
could
up
have
'cause
so
the
much
team's good.
opportunity. Not really. I mean, I know a ton of my friends that I grew up with that aren't on board with it.
Yeah, I certainly think though that a good percentage of the angry people, because Snyder's gone and the team's good again.
Yeah, that certainly helps win back a bunch.
They've
of fans.
mended some fences.
Sure, but
not the actual fence. The actual fence in the stadium is still fucked up. If you recall, the Eagles fans who almost fell on top of Jalen Hurts because of that broke down fence.
I love how the Eagles fans take no accountability for the situation.
For a broken fence.
I thought that would speak volumes. I remember the vet.
Yeah,
right?
why is it our fault that your fence is broken?
I mean, you're leaning on something.
Yes.
Trusting the structural engineering of a team owned by Daniel Snyder. That's dumb.
All right.
He's been cutting corners for 20 years. I mean, we've read all.
No, don't come at Snyder. I like his sour milk methods.
That was pretty crazy. Putting sour milk in.
It's like, yeah. Oh, they want me to change my name. They're forcing me to change my name. Hey, one of my favorites is he told Vinny Serrato. He didn't even go to like the Vinny Serrato was their general manager. He's telling him, dude, take milk in there. All this milk, pour it in there. It's gonna smell like shit for all these bastards. Oh man, that was fantastic.
It just shows you how much of a psycho he is. I mean, just think about the things we don't.
I just love how he doesn't tell a janitor. He tells his general manager.
Yeah,
and his general manager is the one to do this.
Yeah, but
poor janitor's
Colby.
like, what do I gotta clean up this sour milk?
How many mob movies have
also,
you
it's
seen?
his stadium, right?
You don't go to the boss doesn't go to the
He's
low
not
level
renting
guy.
the stadium. That's the best part.
Yeah.
It's like, this is going to be a problem that you're going to have to pay for down the line.
You're gonna have to replace the carpet.
When you're the boss, you tell your right hand man to go take care of the problem. Now, whether or not he's actually doing it, that's great, right? Not as many people know about it.
That's my favorite part to come out of that whole fucking thing. It actually made me like him more, believe it or not. I didn't think that was possible for me to like him. And I thought, like, wait, then you drop this. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm kind of on board with Dan Snyder.
You have a track record of zigging when people zag. So the idea that you are liking Dan
Snyder didn't want to change the name. And I believe, like, look, I don't know if you know the history, but I like he turned me off from being a Redskin fan. Dan Snyder did. But then when I learned he was the lone person keeping the name, I was like, well, I guess I like you then, buddy. I guess, you know, stay with your shitty management of being an owner with your whole roster.
You want to have an interesting 5 to 7 minutes. There's an interview with Daryl Green.
Yeah.
Where he talks about,
I've seen it.
He talks about he went on a quest I think he actually might call it a quest in the interview to find a person who was offended by the name Redskins.
Yeah.
And he couldn't find it. and this is Darryl Green. Like this is not exactly a man who seems like he's filled with hate.
Hey, that's a man of God right there, man.
Well, I don't know about that. I do know he was running 4.2s when he was like 40 years old.
Oh yeah.
We got a massive slate of college action here on Friday. Of course, if you haven't already, sign up for our free bracket competition, 2K up for grabs, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. And we are doing an episode tomorrow where Colby Kramer and I fill out our brackets live on the air. And we will also announce what we're doing for Survivor. So we're giving you actually a little bit of edge because you're going to know if you're in the pool, and if you're not, what are you waiting for? Water is warm. Splashsports.com/SGPN. Get in over there. And I even got them to toss in a little $10 bonus here. Of course, it's a $25 entry fee, winner take all for the Survivor over at splashsports.com/SGPN. If you use the promo code finals, you get a $10 bonus credit kicked in there.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there you go.
What do you mean?
Well, you can use that. They have a bunch of other contests on the platform. So
I should have waited to sign up.
Oh, you can still do it, right?
Do you guys remember K2 footballs?
Yes, those were like the official ones that you wanted to get growing up.
$50 I see right now. I feel like we should add that into the 2K we're giving away.
Okay.
Right?
What do you mean? Throw a football?
You get a 2K and you also get a K2.
All right. You win $2,000 and a officially licensed child's football.
When I was
like
a kid, man.
Not a basketball. We don't want to give them a basketball.
I know, but the K
it's
it doesn't go with
contest.
the 2K. The 2K,
I mean, I love
give you
football.
The K2.
Okay.
You know, like
It's a good way to get
We can
someone.
send them on a mountain. The K2
And you never know who we can get into football. Sean.
trip to the
know?
2K2.
We could ask him to send videos of them throwing the football.
Yeah, and look, anytime you put a football out in the universe, hopefully a kid's playing it, and then we continue to grow the game. Sean.
Actually, that's what we should do this summer. Start a campaign of posting videos throwing football.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I
Being
like
outside
I
throwing
like
footballs.
We'll rate them. That'll be our thing.
Well, like
Yeah.
you can, like anywhere, like you can be camped.
That's
like
a great
you can be
idea.
in the mountains.
That's a fucking great idea.
Yeah,
Now we're talking.
yeah. I'm
Now we're talking.
going to bring a football.
Football everywhere. That's a campaign.
Yeah.
Just bring football awareness.
Yeah.
I am going
100%.
deep into the desolate parts of Utah on a river this summer.
Yeah. Just throw it around.
I am
Yeah.
bringing I
Play
gotta bring-
football.
I'll bring one down to Costa
Hey, you
Rica.
out there, play football. We're gonna get you a
Hashtag
K2.
football everywhere.
Yeah.
Is the campaign called "Let Us Play"?
I think we got to work on that maybe, but K2 to the. So you're not only going to win $2,000.
It's a great peak, also.
You're also going to get a K2 football, which Sean, I think you were just kind of touching on this. Like, I was trying to get a K2 for like several Christmases.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit before my mom understood that there was a difference.
Yeah, it's like the official one that's got the nice leather and the
Yeah.
white
Oh, well,
laces.
don't get me started about trying to explain to a woman the differences between a like $400 basketball and a $10 basketball, soccer ball, whatever. Insert whatever ball.
I would get those rubber footballs for so many like Christmases. Like they were great
trash.
footballs. No. You know what I'm talking about? Like the full-on rubber ones.
Yeah, I know.
They're hard.
They hurt.
Yeah. But I mean, that would be cool because they would have the logo of like. I had a bunch of different teams. I had like the fucking Miami Hurricanes. So that was a
Although,
cool element.
honestly,
of it.
you didn't play. The problem was we played mostly in the street, so we would have never played with a good football in
True.
the street.
True.
And so we did play with a lot of those rubber balls. Anyway, we should talk about the tournament.
Let's go.
Less than 15 minutes in, so we've done a good job moving the show along. Sean will be happy. 9.
No, I mean I'm 2-0 on my side, so I'm
What do you mean?
itching to give out. I went 2-0 in the first 4,
Oh, okay.
so I'm itching to talk more games.
Were those locks?
One was yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I promised to send when the winner is deemed. I'm going to send a K2 to George Mason University.
Now you notice how I didn't lock up either of the games today.
Yeah, no, you're
Because I
saving
knew
your locks.
I was on the wrong side with San Diego State, but I couldn't take North Carolina.
Okay.
And
Colby had the similar sentiment. He goes, "Oh, I knew they were gonna get killed.
that was
I
one.
knew it.
That was one where I was just like, fuck North Carolina. San Diego State's always been nice to us, but I was like, man, San Diego State's. They didn't belong in the tournament too. It's not like I was sitting over here lobbying for San Diego State.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Indiana, West Virginia, and Boise were the three that should have been. Xavier, San Diego State, and North Carolina should have been on the outside. So they gave UNC I mean, they could have paired UNC with Texas or something. They would have lost by 20, right? Instead, they give them San Diego State, and then they give them an extra day of rest as they take on the Ole Miss Rebels.
I do think that that needs to be investigated. That seems like a very unfair maneuver. All right. Let's and by the way, West Virginia, they miss out on the tournament and then they lose their coach off to Indiana.
Tough.
The committee was right. UNC belonged in all along.
And I'm seeing a
Did
little.
they get some inside.
I'm seeing
intel?
I'm seeing some Providence like behavior from the West Virginia fan base, going and saying that the injury's been faked, that this deal was done months ago, and that everything was a ruse. There's tampering in college sports. They're being very bitter. They're calling names. Does sound like it's a nice job. Nice job by Mr. DeVries.
Well, it is interesting though.
And we assume Tucker's going with him.
I would make that assumption, but it is interesting.
West Virginia denies whatever they can do to keep him there.
And I need to confirm this, but I think Indiana's athletic director might have been on the committee.
Oh,
So then it gets really.
like he didn't want to
make sure West Virginia doesn't make it,
Oh.
so we can steal their coach.
Whoa.
And we don't want it because Mike Woodson could win the thing, and we'd have to bring him back.
This is next level.
What's that channel? Investigate.
Unsolved mysteries.
Wow. Okay, I didn't think about it like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get going. We got a game on Thursday to talk about real quick. The Alabama State Auburn game, 116 matchup in Lexington, Kentucky. Awesome, just absolutely awesome looking. I mean, both these logos actually
Fire.
are
I told you the
quite
SWAC
fire.
the SWAC logos are just in general. They know what they're doing. All right.
Oh yeah, I mean that's obvious, right? But look at that tie. Look at that. I mean, this is an old school like slap this on a varsity jacket kind of a Letterman's jacket.
Oh yeah.
That'll look real
You go
nice.
around town in Alabama, you're getting scattered ass.
Yeah.
I guarantee you right
That's,
there.
the guy who poisoned
You're bringing some honey back.
I
the guy who
guarantee
poisoned
it.
the tree definitely had this jacket with that on there. 31.5 Auburn's laying. My goodness. I didn't even
I have this at 30, so I'm seeing some value here.
Sean, we were discussing we fade teams that just went on a Hail Mary.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they literally dumped the Gatorade. It's insane. We're actually witnessing history with some of these spreads. I was looking into some of the research. Like there haven't been that many tournament games that have spreads over 30 points. It's kind of uncharted territory. I will take Auburn laying the massive number because it's a letdown spot for Alabama State coming back the other way. And I don't think Alabama looked particularly good against St. Francis. Like they weren't running much offense. There was a ton of turnovers, and Auburn, out of any teams, look at how they finished the season. They need to get that confidence up. If you thought they're at some point, they'll call off the dogs, but they need to smash. They need to feel alive and remind themselves, hey, we're the number 1 overall seed for a reason. They're going to put Alabama in a locker, lock it up 31.5.
I do love the fact that Alabama State won this game, so we can see an in-state battle here. The series, Sean, goes back to 1924 when they first started playing.
I was gonna say this has little brother aspect to it. This has a great youth sports coaching story with a father-son duo on Alabama State. This has lots. This has a team that takes care of the ball and has obviously they're coming from a bad conference, but good guard play, all things considered. They're obviously going to be massively outmatched, but how do you not take 30 points? 31.5 points.
I don't know.
They didn't look good
I
today,
watched that
though,
Alabama
dude, but
State team.
we got
bad.
there. I mean, they trailed the entire game until the final minute.
I enjoyed this team's effort and energy, and I thought there was some intelligent play out there.
You're taking a dog here.
I'm taking a dog.
I'm laying it. I think Auburn's gonna win by 50. You just won on a fucking Hail Mary, dude.
All right. I'm worried about this Auburn team. They really haven't been playing well down the stretch.
No, until they play Alabama State. That's when they start playing good.
I mean, they'll win by 25. 31.5, Sean.
Yeah. Love it.
That's huge.
They'll win by, they'll be up by 31 and a half.
72.5 is the first half unders. First half unders, of course. Reminder: they are 0-2 at this point in time at 9:30 or 9:39 p.m. Pacific. 0-2 with 34 to go. Let's hop over to Friday for the continuation of the first round 8-9 matchup in Raleigh, North Carolina. Baylor, Mississippi State. Mississippi State laying a point and a half. Slide says 1.5, so we'll pick it at 1.5. 69 for the first half number.
Nice.
Of course, we're going under. The first game, the Alabama State game, never had a chance with the first half.
Well, it didn't, but then there was a little chunk there where there was a little breath of hope.
But the North Carolina San Diego State game, that was a little unfortunate.
Not necessarily a bad beat, but you felt like they had a shot. I like Baylor here, especially as a small dog. I mean, I'm just looking at Mississippi State's offense. They cannot hit a 3 to save their life. You get Baylor. Better offensive rebounding. I like that about them. Better free throw percentage. I mean, this should be a good game, but Baylor being the dog here and Mississippi State, I don't know, man. I feel like every time I bet on them this season, they were disappointing. They were sub 500 in conference play. I'd much rather take this Baylor team, who again hasn't looked amazing here in the second half of the season, but neither is Mississippi State. I think this is a good spot for Baylor, though. Give me Baylor and the 1.5. Colby, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on Baylor too. I think they've gotten healthier. I mean, I came into this season with a ton of hype for Baylor. Yeah. I thought they were going to be really good. They beat St. John's in that tournament out in the Bahamas, but then they just haven't looked good for whatever reasons. You bringing in some freshmen, bringing in some transfers, getting the injury bug. VJ Edgecombe was out. Jeremy Roach was out. Langston Love, the big man, was out.
The fuck is that bear up to? Cole.
Yeah, it's nice.
Where
right?
are you finding this stuff? Is this in the Diddy private collection? What kind of bear is this?
He's boxing, man. He's ready to go. All right.
He doesn't look that intimidating.
Looks like he's
wearing pajamas. He's wearing like a nightgown, and he looks like he's about ready to get knocked out. But he's a boxing bear.
Yeah, it looks like a cry for help.
It's what they used in I believe that was the 50s when Baylor used that logo. I'm on Baylor though. I just think another thing is I'm a huge fan of Chris Jans at Mississippi State. You might remember us cashing on New Mexico State against UConn.
How can I forget?
And the year before he should have cashed against Bruce Pearl, but they missed free throws. But one of the things that he's had throughout his career, Chris Jans, is like elite defenses. They're 179th in defensive rating.
They're not the same this year.
So I'll take Scott Drew and a team that seems to be coming together. And they also, one of the things I do like is they're no stranger to playing in March. So some of these guys have been playing in March quite a while. There, Jeremy Roach, came over from Duke, and then Omir from Miami. So they have some guys that have been part of some magical runs in March.
Jans has lost in the first round of every NCAA tournament or postseason tournament that he has played in. We're a coach for Mississippi State.
Oh, for Mississippi State.
And Mississippi State, even if you go back to the last year under Howland, what do? First round, get knocked out. So I'm taking Baylor. I feel like every year these 8-9 matchups, like what are we doing here? I'm obviously, I don't think I think about them as much because for the bracket, I'm obviously just going to have them disappear against the 1 seed. And this one especially, this feels like the most forgettable 8-9 matchup of this March Madness. 9:40 a.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to Cleveland, Ohio. We're talking a lot about the state of Alabama here because it's Robert Morris taking on Alabama. Alabama laying 23.5, 18-1 for a single basketball game. Can Robert Morris get it done? 80 for the first half total. Makes sense for a Bama game. I think Robert Morris likes to push it a little bit too. In general, it's usually not a good. It's not good for the team to be playing Alabama and also kind of want to play a similar style. I don't know. It just feels like if you try to play fast with Alabama, they're just going to fuck you up.
No, to your point, you almost need to like counter it. there is some good stuff going for Robert Morris. They're 11-2 ATS this season as a dog. Obviously, never been a dog this big. They didn't play any Power 5 teams. Alabama's offense is amazing, but Ryan, there's actually some trends. Dogs who play with pace that are in that 11-16 seed that are double-digit dogs. There's actually some good like trends towards them. I don't think obviously they could win outright here, but 22.5. I don't know. I'll probably take Robert Morris here because they hit their free throws. Alabama, are they going to be that motivated to put it on them? I don't know. I'll take Robert Morris. The number's too big for a competent team.
Especially, I mean, look, I don't
wait. So hold on. That Robert Morris can stay the Colonials, but these other schools have to change.
They're real. They're the fucking real
very
deal.
Strange.
All right, and they play football too. Shout out to Robert Morris.
I have been to Moon Township before.
I think you got to take the points here. I think you can actually get a bigger number. I think it's 23.5. I see out there right now. But
that is what I had in the sheet.
Okay.
The slide says 22.5.
We're calling it 23.5.
Yeah.
You know, you're
all right. Let's go.
23.5.
I'll take the free point. I might need it with Robert Morris. Well, these games are really tough. The 215s, anything that's above 20 points in the bracket, I think is going to be a tough handicap. Honestly,
I think one of the reasons why we should take Robert Morris is this. I think their fans might be able to travel to this game. Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
How you've been to Moon Township? How far is that from Cleveland?
Do you have that spreadsheet pulled up, Sean?
No, but shout out to Patrick Fisher. Sent in a spreadsheet for this very practice. But Kramer, pull it up.
Well, Patrick Fisher's the man.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on. Is it? I gotta download it. Oh no.
Another big element of this is Alabama's second leading scorer, veteran Grant Nelson, is questionable, and I saw he had to get like an MRI or something. So the information has not been. They haven't really released much. He went to a knee specialist today. So
yeah, and they don't have any. There's nothing motivating them to run it up.
I'd give him the day off.
Yeah,
personally, if it was
and
me.
if they're banged up a little bit, they're going to want to play it safe because they got some tough games coming up. So the 23.5, I think, is just way too high. Kramer, what are you doing here, Robert Morris, Alabama?
I mean, I'm probably I laid some points with the 1s and 2s yesterday. Today, Alabama's not the right team to do this with. Give me Bama.
Yeah, I mean Alabama has the pace, so they could certainly run up a big score. I
gotta listen to myself. After watching San Diego State, I gotta stick to my gut.
But Robert Morris has offense, and Robert Morris can hit threes. I think is kind of the difference. Like they're not horrible from the three.
2 hours from Cleveland to Moon Township.
Come on, let's go.
They haven't had a fucking great season in a long time.
Moon Township, load up the station wagon. The Colonials are coming to town.
I mean,
Cleveland rocks.
They're going to go by Mosquito Creek Lake. They're going to go by.
Sounds like a great place to hang out. How are the bugs at Mosquito Creek Lake? Fine. It's just a name, really. It's maybe they just call it Mosquito Creek. So then when you only get bit like 10 times, you're like, oh, I was expecting worse.
Dude, I'll tell you
also,
this. Also,
why would you put Mosquito Creek? Why would you have creek
trying to have people
in the name of a fucking lake? That'd be like the Atlantic Lake Ocean. That makes no sense.
The bug situation. Have you ever been to like Michigan, northern Michigan in the
Midwest
summer?
loves their bugs.
Oh my God. I've never seen anything like it.
Fireflies are cool. All the other bugs.
I've been to the goddamn Amazon, Sean. I never seen some bugs like fucking northern Michigan.
The Midwest is the perfect concoction of cold, horrible winters and just humidity that brings out these horse flies that you can feel chewing on your flesh. And they like the kind where when you run into them with your car, you see red blood.
Oh,
it's not just like
you go on a road trip and it just looks like you got attacked by like a paintball
too. Upstate New York,
just blood and guts everywhere.
Making the drive up to the Turning Stone in Verona, New York.
Upstate New York,
you just hear the whack, whack, whack.
Dude, I was in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, for my brother's wedding, and my father takes a train up because he doesn't fly, which is hilarious in its own right because he had to get on like 20 trains.
Wright brothers are pussies.
Yeah, and then the bugs, dude. I don't know what it was. The locals had deemed that they cut down the trees, which got rid of the bats that eat the bugs for that summer. So it was you couldn't speak while walking because they would go in your mouth.
Oh my
but my
God.
dad,
that's disgusting.
my dad went,
People.
dude. We were waiting for the ferry, Mackinac Island. We're waiting for the ferry, and my dad, he had his breaking point. Like my mom was trying to cool him down because he had been like pissed off with these bugs hitting him in the face, right? and my mom's like, "Honey, relax." And then like one went like in his mouth or his nose.
No.
So he just lost it. And like, there's like 50 people in line. He takes his hat off. He's swinging. He's like, "I got your." What did my mom say? "I got your." My dad's like, "I got your fucking chill out. I got your motherfucking chill out." Right? And just swinging at it looked like he was fighting nothing. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I was on my knees fucking laughing.
This is insane. Christian says horsefly killed a guy. No, he was on a motorcycle. My God.
Went down his throat.
That's insane. Well, I mean, you're going 80 miles an hour on a motorcycle. And maybe if it hit, if you're not wearing a visor, if you swallow it. Oh my God! What an insane way.
I gotta find out what these bugs are.
I know there's a look. One of the reasons why I stayed west. It's a lot less of those types of creatures. Just the mosquitoes. Well, sorry. What's that? I mean, the fact that I even have to deal with them once in a while, it's like, okay, but I go to Florida and it's just hell.
DraftKings. When it comes to college basketball, March Mania, one thing is for sure.
Oh,
nothing for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters. We just saw one. I mean, the Hail Mary pass. How can you watch that game and not wish you had? If you didn't have action on it, you're probably wishing you did. Buzzer beaters, Cinderellas. We know they got it all. And every upset every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. Get in on the action. DraftKings Sportsbook. So many times, even when they're not running ads with us, we're always up on DraftKings because they have an incredible menu. So many ways to get down, including live betting, exclusive content, promos, parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time. Here's something special for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. If I had $200 in bonus bets, and it's great, they're bonus bets, so you feel like you can sprinkle them around a little bit. I would put it on Michigan State to win the region. You can get that plus 550 over on DraftKings. Of course, odds are live and subject to change, but I like Michigan State to win the region. Spoiler alert for our bracket show. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional items and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/AUDIO. And of course, we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Head over to Edge Boost, use the promo code SGPN, get that Visa debit card built for bettors. Really, I could sell you on it, but really, hey, sign up for it. It's fucking free. It helps out SGPN and it helps you out because you get cash back every month, up to $750. Even if you're only getting $5-10, it's for free on your Edge Boost card that you can put down and get sprinkle some long shot crazy stuff. Use Edge Boost as your parlay card. You put the crazy shit on Edge Boost. Edge Boost. .bet promo code SGPN and also get in on the bracket contest sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket edgeboost.bet promo code SGPN. Shout out to Scotty Reichel. He said the D gave him a free beer when he checked in. Gotta love Vegas. Yeah, if you've never been to the D, it's right down the street from Circa. Great hotel, and it's after Derek. They call him D, and he nicknamed the casino the D. It's a good spot. And Sigmund Derby is there, which if you haven't played it, it's really awesome. It's a horse racing game that has like these little mechanical horses, kind of like back in the day where you play foosball or something like that. Similar characters, and the horses race around, and you can bet on them and win real money. It's crazy.
So it's mechanical. There's 5 horses, and you basically bet exactas. So you can play any exact, and then each race there's various odds. I hit a 45 to 1 or something like that. It's very fun, and it's the only machine. It got to be one of the few machines still in Vegas that takes coins.
Yeah.
There's a machine that will give you quarters.
Yep.
It's excellent, and it's crowded any time of day. It's packed. It's crazy. We went over there with Scott Bowser.
Yes,
there was a lady there. I mean, I don't know if we're discussing any cougars tonight, but there was definitely a cougar.
She was super horny for Sigma Derby.
Oh man,
in her 60s, very loud. And she was like, "You're putting 20 quarters in?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Lady, it's $5.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right for myself. I'm drunk.
She was
it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm gonna put $5 on this dumb horse game. It would be dumber to play $1. Like what? Come on."
And then to my
I did hit like a 20 to 1.
I don't know if
it was pretty awesome.
I don't know if you picked up on it, Sean, but that
was an interesting dynamic.
The guy was playing. He was super nice guy. We were having a conversation, and his wife. Kind of reminded me of an ex-girlfriend, was clearly shit-faced, just screaming at the horses. Why is this not racist? Why is it? Because there were more black horses than white. She was there. She was white, and she was just screaming. Why is this not racist? Because there were less white horses. It was a pretty wild scene. You could tell the guy just wanted to knock her out. Enjoy some fucking peace and quiet at the Sigma Derby machine. Lipscomb. Speaking of Sigma Derby. The 14 seed taking on Iowa State, the 3 seed. We're in Milwaukee. Imagine that will be a very pro Iowa State crowd. -14.5. Let's get this back on the screen. -14.5, and the first half total is 68.5. By the way, a quick note on the first half totals. I have a model. Or at least just a general formula that calculates roughly where I expect the first half total to be. Numbers are all over the place this year. There's not a ton of correlation between the first half total and even the full game total, Sean. I'm seeing situations where the first half total may be higher for one game. Where the full game total is lower. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, back to this game. Iowa State does seem like there is some there is some possibility of Iowa State being a little banged up, but also they could just smash Lipscomb here. I have not heard a ton of positive Lipscomb support.
Well, you're about to, Ryan.
Interesting. Okay, what's the case?
Well, I would say let's look at their free throw percentage. They're over they're over 77%.
That's fair. I walked right into that one.
And that is one of the commandments. Iowa is kind of a sneaky fringe contender, but Colby, it seems like Gilbert's going to be out the rest of the season.
Yeah,
for them, right. Yeah,
that's what I heard. Kashawn Gilbert, their second leading scorer. That's a substantial loss, I would say. And for that reason alone, I think you got to take Lipscomb. I don't feel that I think it is a bad matchup for Lipscomb. Kind of to me is more of like a finesse team, but I still think they have enough scoring.
And they shoot the ball pretty well. 21st in the nation 2-point percentage. They don't turn the ball over. 22nd in not turning it over offensively, where Iowa State's kind of in the middle. And Iowa State has had moments where they've struggled with teams below them. So
I think it's gonna be right around that number though. I think Iowa State wins by 10, 11.
I'll make a bold prediction. They do not play a deep bench. Iowa State will get you into foul trouble. I think this is going to be a game where we're just talking about a team that got into foul trouble and things just went south quickly. This is a tailor-made, Iowa State will get to the line. And if they get to the line enough against the right guys, I mean, again, the 333 in bench minutes. They do not play many players.
Lipscomb second in the nation at not putting you on the line.
What? Okay. That I think when you're looking at a big bad team versus a small team, that's a harder metric to look at there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
their size is what's going to put them at the line. Like Lipscomb is not a big team. Iowa State is. They're gonna. We've
I'll
seen.
say this though: Iowa State, for whatever reason, I feel like has issues in the NCAA tournament.
And they've messed around and lost to some teams that they should be better than them. They lost to Oklahoma State. They lost to BYU twice. They lost to Kansas State. They lost to West Virginia. They've lost to teams that they supposedly, if you look at the advanced metrics, be better than. I think Lipscomb's going to hang around.
Yeah, Iowa State wins by 10.
Kramer, so you're taking Iowa State laying the points?
I'm just looking at the last couple years of Iowa State. Yeah, I mean they seem to do fine when they get matched up against a mid-major. I'm using small sample size of South Dakota State last year, maybe, but give me Iowa State laying the points. 11 a.m. and that was 10:30 in Milwaukee. 11 a.m. on the West Coast. We're heading out to the Seattle location where. I mean, I think everyone is talking about Colorado State, so much so they're actually favored. We're definitely seeing a wide range of 5-12 spreads this year, with some of the 5 seeds laying around 7 points. Colorado State's laying 1.5 here. Wow, 2.5 on the slide. You call it, Sean.
1.5.
Okay, interesting. 69.5 for the first half total.
Nice.
I assume you wanting the shorter number means you're on Colorado State.
Great detective work over there, Kramer. Now I get the case for Memphis, and shout out to Derek Stevens, who has a Memphis future to get to the Final Four.
That's my guy, so I'm not going to go against Derek like you.
I am, because as we know, the March Madness commandments say if you're hitting your free throws over 77% and the spread is short at 6, the trend gets even stronger. At 4, it gets even stronger. Colorado State 77.5% from the line. Very good effective field goal percentage. Just eye test. Like, they are playing incredible basketball right now. I understand the whole Mountain West thing. I do, but everyone's
pretty bad tonight.
Yeah. But San Diego State also looked like shit coming into the tournament. And I'm with Colby. I don't think they should have been in the tournament to begin with. UNC was looking really good coming into the tournament. They look really good tonight, especially against the inferior team. Colorado State is playing damn good basketball. I guess I would be like good team basketball, just fun to watch, passes the eye test. I get why you would say, oh, Memphis better conference. Memphis can hit their threes, but Colorado State can defend the three. All right. I'm going to feel dumb if I don't take Colorado State. I've loved what I've seen at this team. I'm pissed I took Utah State instead of Colorado State for my crazy Final Four long shot. I'm sure I can probably still get a good price on it. Use the Edge Boost card for that. Get some rewards. But I'm all over Colorado State. Colby, what are you doing?
I don't think their conference is better. Mountain West is better than the American.
Especially since Houston and Cincinnati,
I think
and UCF is gone.
That's kind of what stands out. I think if you can make the argument, both teams finished the season very well, and you can argue that it's very clear Memphis had the easier schedule there.
Not in the non-con, and
they played well though.
That's why
months ago.
That's why I think Memphis has just a size issue that Colorado State hasn't seen in a while. You look at Memphis; they beat Missouri this year. They beat UConn. They beat Michigan State. They beat Virginia. They beat Ole Miss, and they didn't just beat Ole Miss. They beat Ole Miss by like 20.
Clemson.
So, I think Memphis. I know Tyrese Hunter's out, but I think that they'll be okay. I think like obviously you want to have him, but Dante Harris was the former starting point guard at Georgetown and UVA. I think that he'll step up his game some, and to me. How about the rebounding factor here? This is what I mean. Like Memphis top 50 offensive rebounding team in the country. 328th for Colorado State in offensive rebounding. They're going to get only one look. Memphis going to board the ball well. I got Memphis winning this thing. I'm with Derek.
There is a possibility again where Ken Pom has Colorado State rated high at defensive rebounding. But to your point, there's a size element there that
and they haven't maybe seen this size. That's a fair counter.
A lot of the teams that they're playing and doing this against, I mean, in some regard, who's a comp in their conference? it's probably San Diego.
It probably is. Yeah.
And they split with San Diego State. And the game they lost, they got worked.
See, the difference is Memphis is a lot. They have shot creators where, like PJ Haggerty, and Colby Rogers and stuff. Those guys can create their own shot. San Diego State doesn't have that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just I'm with you. I'm on. I probably.
I don't know. Watching that Mountain West Conference tournament game.
Clifford's been playing amazing.
They're just
so,
they
yeah.
are.
Let's not doing it. I'm not. I watched it. I fucked up. I took San Diego State. I'm done.
No, but
I'm done. I'm done.
You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
There's one good Mountain West team, and it's Colorado State. I'm telling you.
No.
I'm telling you.
They're the most fraudulent.
How?
Because
they dominate.
They got hot shooting and closed the season nice, so you got your eye on them. This is the classic chick that super unhealthy, a little bit overweight. She goes on the medicine.
She's got great tits.
All of a sudden, she's smoking hot for spring break. You get into a relationship. 3 months later, it's like, I already went to Taco Bell to get you dinner, honey. It's the fourth meal. So yeah, no, I'm with Colby. Memphis. Also, this is you have to look at this Colorado State game as one of the chalky public sides. I think everyone. I mean, so much so the spreads moved over there. Like people are betting it.
Not scared.
I know you're not.
Just
scared.
ram it, baby.
Shout out to Trey Smith. He says he's been listening to the podcast on Spotify for a long time, and he just randomly found us on the live stream.
Really?
Shout out to you, Trey. Appreciate it. Smash that subscribe button.
Floating through the universe.
You probably watch some sports gambling stuff, and then YouTube. Shout out to YouTube, the algorithm doing the heavy lifting, recommending us. Appreciate it.
Nice. Yeah. Well, welcome to the live stream. Many people listen in their bunkers via podcast. The 16-1 matchup at 11:50 in Raleigh will be the Duke versus American or Mount St. Mary's, who. I was going into one of my accounts, and I realized I had a nice winner on Mount St. Mary's to win that conference. I assume this is actually an interesting one. I could see myself being intrigued by American if they can win. But at 12:15, we head back to Ohio, Cleveland, where Vanderbilt, the 10 seed, takes on St. Mary's, the 7 seed. Vanderbilt has not been very good away from home. I don't think Diego goes to the game. He only goes to home games. St. Mary's laying 4.5, 3.5 on the slide. So I'll let Sean call it. We'll know where he's at this one. 63.5 is the first half total. We're going under. You want to call this at 4.5 or 3.5, Sean?
Let's see. What does DraftKings have right now?
4.5.
Okay, then we'll call it 4.5. I was going back and forth with this in the office. I've discussed it with Colby a little bit.
This is one of the easiest picks of the board, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
I know Vanderbilt has struggled away from home, and that maybe is just like, hey, they're just a team you take it home. You fade on the road. They are 5 percentage points better than St. Mary's at the free throw line, and I'm worried that St. Mary's could win this game and not cover. I think that is where I'm at, and I'm also worried that Gonzaga little brothered them a little bit in the West Coast Conference tournament, and I think that was a dream crusher game. For years, St. Mary's has been the second place team, the silver medal, the little brother. They took care of Gonzaga in the regular season. They won the regular season, the West Coast Conference. And then what happened? They got to the West Coast Conference tournament, couldn't get it done. Gonzaga beats them again. I feel like that's got to take a little steam out of your sail. But again, to your point, Kramer, Vanderbilt has not looked good on the road.
Close your eyes, Sean.
Yeah.
Imagine us as a rec league team going onto the court and playing a team that has like 4 guys that are 6'8" or taller. We have no shot.
Yes.
St. Mary's is going to play defense, take shots, offensive rebound those shots repeatedly.
Well, I was going to say
just dominate, because
a good nugget that Colby gave to me in the office when we were breaking this game down is and St. Mary's is very good at offensive rebound. You could make the same thing about, those numbers are padded because of the conference they played in. Vanderbilt.
Well, I disagree. Their conference has size.
Okay.
My commentary is more about these when you.
But obviously, it's tougher to get offensive rebounds in the SEC than the West Coast Conference. You would agree with that?
Maybe slightly.
Colby had a great nugget for me, pointing out that this Vandy team is made up of a lot of JMU guys who have tourney experience, who took down UVA last year. That was ultimately the point that swayed me on taking Vandy plus the 4.5. Colby, what are you doing? Now Colby's going to take St. Mary's, but I still like that point.
I think St. Mary's free throws. This is an awesome game.
Yeah.
I think St. Mary's will be this is the best St. Mary's team that I can recall watching. I think
they're just going to out rebound them.
St. Mary's head coach 6-10 ATS in the tournament.
Great fucking coach though, and they got an NBA pedigree.
You could win this game and not cover, and that's why I'm hemming and hawing, because I don't know if Vanderbilt's live on the money line, but I don't think St. Mary's covers.
Augustus Marciolis, who was the son of Sarnas Marciolis, the former Golden State Warrior, and a guy that was just a fucking badass player in the NBA before the knee injury. I think having that NBA pedigree, man, that dude's a beast. And to me, the rebounding, like you alluded to, the fact that this team, I know they just lost to Gonzaga, but they did beat their ass the other 2 times.
And also, Pete, we're talking about Gonzaga as they're a top 10 KenPom team. Like they still have talent. Yeah, I'm with you, Colby. I assume you're about to tell me you're laying the points.
I am. I think St. Mary's, like down the stretch, free throws will open this thing up. It'll be tight, I think, for a good chunk of the game. But I think St. Mary's gets the cover.
I mean, if Vanderbilt will have to show me how they're planning on scoring. That's it's gonna have to be like turnovers and transition.
Well, another thing is Vandy plays at a pretty fast pace,
but they won't.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna minimize your possessions here, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna be a little more efficient on each offensive possession. But yeah, give me the Gales.
I mean, how often was St. Mary's dragged into the deep water? I'm only seeing. I mean, rarely did a team score. Did they get into the 80s?
Yeah, well, when you're playing Pepperdine and Portland and San Diego, it's a little easier to play defense.
Yeah, are you saying that because you talked to Pepperdine on the flight?
I did. They're not A-list preferred.
They beat USC 71-36.
Kramer, over under Colby's boarding position.
Oh, jeez, did you check in yet?
They checked me in.
No, CJ and I bullied Colby into checking in.
Listen, yeah. I mean, Cole, if you've never traveled with Colby, this is if you
doesn't
know,
believe in pre-check.
If you know,
likes it old school.
That'll do any of that shit. You're on the plane. You're on the plane. All
right. Yeah, Gales all the way, baby.
You didn't guess, Ryan. Guess what his boarding position?
Oh, you're right.
I don't even remember, but I know
Hold on.
They chuckled.
It was funny. He goes, is that good?
There are 134 seats on the plane.
Okay.
I think.
So you got A1 through 60.
So I think there's a chance
60,
he's like
C1 through 60.
I'm gonna say C7.
Close. B44.
Oh wow. Okay, that's really good.
You sunk
That's
my
what I
battleship.
thought. You know, these
He was like, oh, B44. That's good.
These hoity-toity
I'm
guys.
a wine and cheese guy with my A16
on a fucking 30-minute flight. Who gives a fuck? All right, you can hang me by. You just give me some rope.
You can tell.
Right? Like
they're gonna drag Colby.
Colby's not a maximum efficiency kind of guy. Sean.
Yeah,
He's not shaving minutes. North Carolina, the 11 seed, solid Tar Heel logo there. Taking out Ole Miss, the 6 seed in Milwaukee, 1:05 p.m. on the West Coast. Ole Miss is a dog.
what is this?
North Carolina -1.5. This is the craziest overreaction I've ever seen. 152 is the. Let me grab a first half total. I did not grab this one, but I mean, I get it. They looked good against San Diego State. They still lost to Duke without a couple of their best players, and I still was always going to come in and smash Ole Miss here. The fact that we're getting this as a dog, Colby,
yeah,
this is a lock.
This is a ridiculous overreaction. I mean, Chris Beard, huge coaching advantage in this matchup.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then okay, you could say, well, they got the game in. Well, that game's still in Dayton. It's not like they played at this stadium. So yeah.
But I will say, I mean, you want to talk about playing the X-Files music. They didn't have to travel that far, and they got the extra day.
And they got
Thanks to
San Diego
BYU.
State.
Well, that
And they got their confidence up.
Yeah.
I'm taking
No, whoa,
UNC.
whoa.
Give me UNC laying the 1.5.
He's-
It's going to piss everyone off. It doesn't make any sense. But we talk about a team making a run from the play-in. It might be North Carolina. You could make a good case. It could be Xavier, but I think North Carolina gets it done. They're playing good basketball. Yeah, they lost to Duke. That was it. They haven't lost to another team.
San Diego State was a quad 2 win today, so
Yeah.
they still haven't got that quad 1 win.
Still
That's
no
fine.
quad 1 win?
That's fine. I'm still taking them. The market,
so
the market,
lot-
Colby, for someone who likes to do the spread is telling you something. Is this spread not telling you to take UNC? It has to.
But you got to remember, it's
Listen
North
to Kramer.
Carolina.
He's like,
It's
can
like-
you believe it? We're getting this sale on Old Miss. This is too good to be true.
But this is like
he
the
literally
Dallas
said it's too good to be
Cowboys
true.
or Notre Dame or something.
Yeah.
You get that, they get that special treatment. That money
come
comes in on them.
Come on.
Winning by 30 today, I could picture all.
Hoops. Hoops Peterson.
I do.
Sharp mind. He makes this UNC -3.
Oh,
So you're getting a
what-
sale
what
on
the
UNC.
Fuck does hoops know?
Mm.
Ah, he watches a lot of basketball.
Does he watch the games?
Oh, he watches the game.
Yes.
I mean, not making that kind of number.
UNC's gonna win. It's gonna piss everyone off. Give me UNC.
Oh, I don't think. I mean, I just think everyone is like, oh yeah, one team from the play-in round always makes it to the round of 32, and they're assuming it's going to be this one. They shot their wad, classic wad shot.
No, what do you mean? They cruised. They
yeah.
cruised. They didn't need to shoot any wads.
They shot their wad tonight.
They did not
The wad
come
was
once
shot.
during that game.
They shot the wad.
They got a big
So-
wad left.
Oh wow, okay, hopefully.
Shout out to Vikings Kyle who got him 300 to 1 or maybe 3,000 to 1. Vikings Kyle in the chat.
No, he got the UNC 300
Yeah.
to 1. My God.
To do what?
to win the tournament.
Oh,
Yeah, Hubert Davis
it's a
is
nice donation.
Yeah.
I hope you're playing our bracket because
Yeah.
maybe we can get
Oh,
you that
no.
K2 football to make up for that.
Yeah, get in there. All right, so man, Sean on some more islands. Let's see how that goes for him.
It's been good so
we're
far.
back again. He's focused on this very small sample size of
What else?
2 play-in games. 1:35 p.m. on the West Coast. We're back in Seattle. Grand Canyon, the 13 seed Maryland, coming across the country to new Big Ten country. The 4 seed laying 10.5. 72 is the first half total. We're going under. Colby.
This is a fascinating game. This was one of the last ones I was able to fill out on who I thought was going to win the game.
And real quick, the North Carolina Ole Miss first half total 72.5. Of course, we're going under. So yeah, Maryland, Grand Canyon, Colby.
Well, Maryland is a young team. I mean, if Kevin Willard is as much as Maryland's like super talented. I know even I've said like when I've watched them earlier in the year, it's like, damn, that roster's good, but they're young. They haven't been in a spotlight game like this. Grand Canyon was in the tournament a year ago. A lot of their roster was. Bryce Drew's been coaching. To me, he's proven a little bit more to me than Willard in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Willard has only gotten past the first round once in his entire tenure, and even that they lost in the second round. So
he is on the fade list.
I did hear I think it was I heard a nickname of the Maryland starting 5, the Crab 5, which I thought was a badass nickname.
it is. I do dig that. I do dig that.
Grand Canyon's offense, they play with a bunch of pace, which is weird because they're not particularly a good, efficient offense or not great shooting. This is weird.
They're gonna have
it's
that
free
crowd
throws.
though.
It's free
Yeah.
throws. So
They're pretty even.
but that's Grand Canyon's game is free throws. They're
Oh,
top 10 in the country in
Get
terms
in the
of
line.
reliance on free throws. They're 7th in the country in their free throws attempted to field goals attempted. And so, but that is a strength of Maryland. Like they don't necessarily put you at the line. So
This is interesting too because Maryland is a fringe contender if you look at the Ken Pom stuff.
Yep.
Where it's similar to Michigan State, 6th in defense, 28th in offense. But I feel way worse about this Maryland team going on a run, and maybe
Why
they
is
do.
that?
Their path
Because
is interesting.
when you watch them in their big games,
No,
it's
their
like
eye
they never
test.
have a plan. It's
Yeah.
very frustrating because when you look at the roster, you're like, that's a team that could go to the Final Four.
Now they also played, late into in the conference tournament. Played Michigan there on Saturday, lost to them, so didn't quite make it to the final.
You like their guards? Colby?
Grand Canyons or
No, Maryland.
I like their whole fucking starting five, but
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me like you have, like you're right about the team as a whole, but they don't play a super deep rotation. The dudes that do play, they're the kind of guys that if you roll the ball out on the court, you're probably picking them.
the biggest problem is like they look unorganized to me. They just, when I watch them in key games, it's just
No,
like,
but I would say they destroyed Illinois. Again, I don't know if that was more about Illinois than necessarily Maryland, but they put it on them in the conference tournament there. So that was something that was like, oh, maybe I'm underestimating this Maryland team.
no, I mean they've had a great season too. They're way ahead of schedule where I thought they would be. It's just it bothers. Like I got to take the points. I got to take the points. Like they don't have. They're young as fuck.
Yeah, Grand Canyon runs with a bunch of really bad teams. I think this is the same thing we were talking about earlier. When you have, both teams wanting to play a little bit of an up tempo, I'm going to favor the team that has the dogs. And unfortunately, I got to take Maryland. This, you know what? If the San Diego State game didn't happen tonight, I might have taken Grand Canyon, but I realized I have to trust my gut.
Grand Canyon's roster has played.
Yeah,
they've been in the NCAA tournament a bunch of times.
I'll ride with Colby.
Agree with you.
I'll ride with Colby. Grand Canyon at least has a history in the tournament, and I'll take the 10.5.
Also worth noting, this is one of the numbers that is so bet splits, 80% on Grand Canyon. Both major analytics sites have this closer to 14. So very confusing. Either there's some sort of injury, or people are just, how many points is Willard worth? -4 potentially. Like
sometimes
yeah.
I mean that's
maybe that's where
the
it's coming
frustrating
from.
thing is like certain games they look awesome, and then certain games you're just like, what? How do you not have a game plan here? Call a timeout. Do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take the points.
I've taken.
I think the money line's live too. I think this is one where Grand Canyon could win this game.
Quick update: Sean has taken the higher seed in every game so far that we've broken down.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. With a couple of favorites
I don't know
too.
if that's a pattern you want to keep an eye on.
All right. Well, what?
I'm almost.
You've taken the lower in every.
Not Baylor.
Okay.
I took a 9 seed.
All right. Yeah, you've taken the lower seed in every game we've talked about, except Baylor.
That's another way to look at data.
All right, let's talk let's talk some bonus plays here with Colby over on Underdog Fantasy.
Oh, fabulous.
Get a little pick 'em going. Colby on a nice 2-entry heater. We're looking
tonight. What about tonight? We got halfway there. Tomorrow we'll find out.
Yeah,
Wait,
forgot.
RJ Davis.
I already
over
lost
15.5 points. He had like 25 tonight for Carolina.
I might have to stop
sweating out.
it.
We're sweating out Matt Rogers. Lower 17.5 points. That'll be a nice cash. Appreciate that, Colby. Good work there. And let's add another pick 'em here for the board. Underdog Fantasy, of course. Promo code SGPN. Get that instant deposit bonus up to $1,000 in credits when you use the promo code SGPN. Colby, what do we got? Let's try and keep it to the Friday games.
Ooh, the Friday games. Okay, hang on one second because I was on the Thursday there. But give me a.
Well, I assume
second.
most of the Friday stuff's up, right?
Let me probably. Let me just scroll down there. What do we have here? Let's go. How about? Let's go with VJ Edgecombe for Baylor.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he gets higher than 16.5 points against Mississippi State.
Love it. I'm in. I like this Baylor offense against Mississippi State.
Right, I'm tailing.
No, Kramer, stay off it. Stay off it.
I'm in.
He's hit 5 in a row. Pick 'em.
I want a piece.
Pick 'em legs that you faded, and we're gonna keep it going. Don't put your underdog pick 'em stink on this. Colby, what's your next one?
The next one. Hang on one second, but oh man,
whoa,
what the hell just happened?
Just and quick alert: if you're, I do have a 50% baseball profit boost.
Oh my God.
Might have to find a use for that.
Shout out to Justin Steele, friend of the program, making his season debut out there in Japan.
Oh hell yeah! Probably mere hours from now.
I sent him a text. I go, "Are you able to watch March Madness over there?" So I know. I'm sure he'll be. I'm sure when he's not getting ready for the game.
When do they fly back?
I don't know.
They play a game. Do they play one more game?
So yeah, that would
actually be ideal. Flying back on a plane and having like some, nice first class setup, little quad box.
Quad box. Hopefully the internet's good over transatlantic.
I'm sure the Cubs have the international.
You never
airlines
know.
are
Like
very
international.
What game you want, Colby?
I was gonna say, can you load up Memphis and see if
let me
see if Dante Harris is there, because I like the fact his stats were down all year, and then
happy to do that for you.
But
sir.
if not, then we'll just go to Dante Harris.
No, they don't have.
Okay, let's go then let's go back to the well. Like for Marquette to win, Cam Jones has to score. I think higher than 21.5 points against New Mexico is the play. This is a guy that to me is essential with them winning. And even just being in the game, they don't have a lot of great scoring options to me. So Cam Jones higher than 21.5 points.
All right. So you're going double higher.
Yeah.
All right. I'll play the double lower.
Thank you. I'm worried about a double higher. That hasn't been our strength, but UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Colby's been hot. I'm trusting him. VJ Edgecombe higher, 16.5 points. Cam Jones higher, 21.5 points. And of course, we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your AI picks, dominate your bracket. It's really awesome to have some data that you can rely on and go back to and be like, hey, hey, this is how I see it. But what about Rhythm? What does Rhythm see this? And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial. Still time to get in for your $250 free future entry. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party. Even if you can't make it out to the party. And again, if you can, RSVP and come hang out with us on Wednesday here at 4:30 Pacific, Stadium Swim, circa, you know the deal. But we'll draw the entry at Stadium Swim, but you don't have to be present to win. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party. But start by signing up over at Rhythm. It's just so great to have so many of these cool data points and stuff that they have here. Great for totals as well, sides both and totals for the March Madness. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Just did a little baseball one with Justin Steele higher 4.5 strikeouts.
Love it.
Shohei to get a RBI with a 50% boost.
Oh, look out.
All right, that's probably the first and last baseball entry I'll play all year, unless they keep giving me free money. 16 seed Norfolk State. Hopefully, Mike Vick takes the trip down to Raleigh. 3:50 p.m. on the West Coast, and they're taking on Florida, who officially is everyone's favorite team to say they are the best team in the country. Easy to argue that if you're judging based on how a team is playing right now with the Cooper Flag injury, Florida should be the number one.
I mean, how do you they pass the eye test. Florida passes the analytics test. Number 1 offense, number 10 defense, and just watch Florida. They're awesome. Anytime a couple times I've had money against Florida, you feel like an idiot. And then just looking at Norfolk State, they kind of achieved a rare feat in that they won their conference tournament without covering a spread. They went 0-3 ATS while winning their conference, which is kind of crazy. And they are on a 1-6 ATS in the last 7 games entering this run. I think it's chomp all the way. I can't really come up with a reason why Norfolk State hangs around in this game. Colby, anything I'm missing here?
I mean, they played well in the non-con against Tennessee. At Tennessee, they
lost by 20.
Lost by 15. But they were actually only down 7 at the half, so that thing was pretty close. But they beat High Point, who's in the field.
That's a good point.
I still think, man, Todd Golden's never won a tournament game, so but I will say this, man, Norfolk is close to Raleigh. Could that be a little Spartan crowd, maybe?
Yeah, if the fan base is big enough, maybe. Now, can they cover a 28.5? Like I said earlier, I think
this is one of the hardest games on the whole sheet with that number so big.
Well,
Norfolk State's looked all right. I kind of love Florida and the way they're playing right now.
It's just such a huge number. It's big enough to where you actually could get to that scenario where they back it off and throw in some backups, because why not?
But also too, and that's why anything north of 20 in the tournament is tough, because If Florida puts in their backups, maybe Norfolk State puts in their backups where they're like, hey, you want to go out and get a run? The coach's son, the equipment manager, the greenies see some work. Ryan, we see that all the time.
We do, but I guess,
and also the backups against Florida might be able to keep a lead against Norfolk State.
That's also potentially true. I would say the thing that I would be most concerned about is the side, like this. It's similar to what I said about the Iowa State. There's some of these games where or St. Mary's, where there is going to be a size situation that.
This is probably, I mean, I guess lay it, but I don't feel good. This is probably out of all the ones, I would say one of the ones I feel least confident about. It's probably going to be somewhere right around that number.
Yeah, I mean Norfolk State definitely. It'll be interesting to see how they attack this. Like the version where shit gets weird. They run perfect offense. They draw a bunch of fouls because they will draw fouls, and they somehow get the front court of Florida into foul trouble or something like that. I'm taking the points though.
Really?
Clear, yeah.
Okay. Ryan taking the lower seeds. Welcome to the dark side.
Well, I mean, you gotta get some dogs. A little diversity on the card, Sean.
Okay.
I like the diversity I have.
I got some favorites.
Have we agreed on a single pick in this side this on Fridays?
Baylor, just Baylor. Ryan, you're in trouble.
What do you mean? You're in trouble.
You're fading all my picks. I'm with Colby on a lot of these.
What do you mean? You're with Cole. You also disagree with Colby on a lot of these.
Yeah, no. Robert Morris, Lipscomb, Grand Canyon, and Florida. We're all in the same.
Yeah. Okay. You disagree with 3. It's very close though. We're splitting hairs. Kentucky, the 3 seed in Milwaukee to take on the 14 seed Troy. 4:10 p.m.
It's at 11.5 now, by the way.
11.5 for Kentucky. Troy plus 550 on the money line. Interesting. 72.5 is the first half total. We're going under. If I didn't say it, the Florida Norfolk State is at 73.5. This is another game where I feel like I've heard a lot of Troy buzz and really nothing said about Kentucky. I've seen a lot of people pointing out the hotbed of basketball talent in Alabama with all these teams coming out of Alabama into March Madness. But when you actually break down this game, it does seem like Kentucky smoking Troy is also in the range of outcomes. And so when we're seeing a game, in that similar range to Maryland, right around 10 points, my instincts say lay it with Kentucky. New coach, new time. They won't choke it up this year.
Colby, what are you doing? Because I can't really see a good reason to take Troy. I mean, I guess their offensive rebounding is intriguing, but
I got a good reason.
Yeah, what's that?
Kentucky's Jackson Robinson's out for the year.
Oh, what's this?
Kirk Krishna is a game time decision, which is the story of his life. But Troy's good. Troy passes the eye test. When you watch Troy, I've been impressed with them all year. And the fact that Kentucky, Mark Pope never won a tournament game. The fact they're in Milwaukee,
that is a lot of pressure.
The fact they're in Milwaukee, and to me, when you look at the other teams that are gonna, what fan base are gonna be there? North Carolina, Ole Miss,
Kentucky,
Iowa State. Yeah, but everyone else in that building will be rooting against Kentucky just based off the history.
And Troy does fall under that trend I was talking about earlier, where teams that are double-digit dogs that play with pace in the 11 to 16 seed, and you throw in the offensive rebounding, which is good with Troy. Yeah, no, I wasn't as familiar with Troy as Colby, but all right, I'm in. Give me Troy.
The logic is also
11.5.
Mark Pope's done a great job in year 1.
I don't think Troy plays with pace. They're 230 in Ken Pom overall.
Well, I can tell you this, buddy.
Yes,
Jackson Robinson is their second leading scorer. Lamont Butler's a game time decision too. He's their third leading scorer.
Yeah,
he's the only guy.
He's
the only guy with tournament deep tournament experience on this roster.
This is concerning.
I think the fact that you look at Kentucky as a team in general.
Colby's selling me. Are we going money line?
He kind of brought in
Are we going money line?
I think they
give
could
me
be.
a 550 to sweat.
I picked them in my bracket to win.
Really?
Yes, I took Troy.
Spoiler alert, Colby! Don't give away the bracket pick.
Jesus,
Can't
All
give
right.
it away too easy.
so is Kentucky too banged up to bet?
I just think that they're not only are they banged up, a lot of the guys they brought in are like, it's been great for his system, but they're kind of, a lot of, they're not as athletic as the rest of the SEC in that regard. They brought in a lot of mid-major guys, a bunch of BYU guys, and
What kind of cat you got going on here for Kentucky right now?
He's a sassy.
That is
cat.
a wild
Yeah.
cat. It's like a weird, naked cat. It's very strange.
Now I'll tell you this:
Well, all cats are naked.
Do you
Brian.
think the
Or at least
line-
most of them?
do you think the line going?
I mean, certainly they dress up animals here in this town. But most are traditionally naked.
do you think the line is going from 10.5?
I know what you mean, though. It
To
does seem
11
like
and a
it's
half?
hiding its genitals there. No, it's up to it is. We'll call it 11.
No,
and a
but
half.
you think that's because Lamont Butler's going to play?
I mean, do you think people? So
I don't think.
all the money is coming in on Kentucky.
Which that's I'm
I think
on
it's
Troy.
more. I would say it's more about the money than the injury stuff. If I just had a guess.
I think there's a lot of pressure on Pope here.
Come
because
on, Kramer,
Kentucky's
take a
been
dog.
ass
Hop
in
on the Troy
All right,
bandwagon.
I mean, Colby's making it seem like their three best players aren't going to be playing.
Oh, this is great. 'Cause
Butler might, and that's why I was asking: is the line movement because it went up? Is that because Butler's playing?
Troy,
this will be a great bailout
does
game.
Troy
too.
play anyone taller?
4
than
o'clock Friday. Colby, I'm going big on the money line.
Troy
If this
doesn't.
doesn't hit, I'm going to be pissed. And then we
Troy-
tape our Feastin' show. It's setting up great.
Troy
Win-win.
doesn't. Troy doesn't play anyone taller than 6'8". Is that a problem?
I don't think.
Okay.
I think they'll stay in this game. I think they're
All
a good
right,
team.
give me Troy.
Yeah.
I think I said this. I mean, it might have been CJ before the show. I have no idea who I'm taking in this game. I wanted to take Kentucky. You pulled me off the ledge there. Next up, 425 back in Cleveland. Marquette, the 7 seed. New Mexico, the 10 seed. What will we do with this Mountain West team? Catching 3.5 points. 71.5 is the first half number. We're going under. I mean, literally, his dad beat this team 3 times this year.
They must have had a
Does that
conversation.
count for anything?
I'm
And
sure he called Dad, said, "Hey, Dad,
Do we send? Do
I
send
love
the-
you, Dad."
Well, he must know the
He's one
number
of
of
those guys
the.
who will get penetration.
He must know what Shaka likes, if you know what I mean. Sends it over to the room the night before. Gets his mind off the
Shaka
game.
Smart as a favorite in the tournament. 3-7 ATS. There's a lot of good stuff. Now I know New Mexico will probably get dragged because of their tournament seeding,
Yes.
or sorry, because of the conference they're in, Mountain West. But let's talk about huge rebounding edge for New Mexico. New Mexico also a top 20 defense. New Mexico 5 wins against tournament teams, and you look at their overall free throw percentage, not great, but their free throw percentage in the last 5 minutes, one of the best in the country at 74.3. Now New Mexico has historically struggled in the tournament overall. This game's annoying because I could totally see this. This feels like maybe a win, not cover for Marquette, which makes it tough for me to pick. I guess I'm a little scared off of the Mountain West stink.
Yeah.
Marquette doesn't turn it over.
You have to be.
Colby, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm on the Golden Eagles. I think they've played. I thought they played well in the Big East tournament, and I think that another thing is, don't forget, Daddy beat Son by 14 points, so that was like an ass whooping. Marquette has actually played the Johnnies a lot closer, but I think just in general, Shaka has lost a lot of close games, so. I think they're actually better than their record. I think Marquette's a better team than their record. And Cam Jones is the it factor. I know you could say the other side of that thing with Dent for he's a dog, but I think
New Mexico not in the pit. I've been waffling on this one. I thought I liked New Mexico more earlier in the week, but I don't know. The more we look at it, I'll ride with you, Colby. I'll take Marquette laying the 3.5.
We don't want to just take one Mountain West. Oh, you Colby or Sean already.
I already did.
Mountain.
That's my one.
I guess I already did 2 at San Diego State.
Yeah, good. You picked the wrong one.
I'm
though.
at budget. I mean, no. Maybe none of them get it done.
No,
Yeah.
one's gonna win.
I think
Colorado
also
State.
there's an element of a lot of people have latched on to this. I don't know if one of the big guys, or someone called out Dent as like a player to watch. Who's the best player that you don't know, but you're going to learn about in March Madness, and people are throwing Dent out there, and it does seem like that is the exact kind of like bulletin board material that Shaka would masterfully use to get his dudes up. And that's Shaka's game, right? Take away what you want to do. So I'll also hop on Marquette. This is another one. I thought it might have been a dog here, but Colby's strength on Marquette is allowing me to be strong. All right. 4:35 p.m. on the West Coast. We're in Seattle. I will have to recuse myself from this one as Akron, the 13 seed, takes on Arizona, the 4 seed. Colby, 13.5 for our Zips. I don't even know what is
that
disrespectful logo.
They're a kangaroo.
Is that it looks like a dog with a C-section.
Kangaroos, man.
It does look like a dog.
Akron plus 750 on the money line. 79.5 is the first half total. We're going under. It does seem like you could make the argument that this is not a great matchup or a great draw for Akron. But I've been telling you all year, I'm taking Akron in the fucking tournament.
Oh, you see our boy hit the portal too?
Really?
For Bowling Green?
Really? Marcus Johnson.
Marcus Johnson, yeah.
Nice. He'll be on a better team next year. It's
Mike Young. Give him a call.
Oh no, don't do that to me.
John Grosh. Is that how you pronounce his name, Colby?
Yeah.
He's been good as a dog there for Akron, 6-2 ATS, but I don't know, man. This Arizona team, pretty intriguing. 13.5. They qualify over 77% from the free throw line, but not that Akron's bad. I don't know. I'm looking towards Arizona here.
Only 3 teams in the nation are shorter than Akron. Mercyhurst, which we need to do a break. We've never actually talked about
Lake Erie.
We've never talked about a Mercyhurst game in the NEC. We'll have to get to that. Prairie View, A&M, and Navy. Those are the four and then Akron is above Mercyhurst. So 4th shortest in the country, Sean. When you look at the Ken Palm effective height metric, they are the shortest team in the country.
I mean, let's just look at this Arizona team. Yeah, they lost to Houston on the neutral, but played them somewhat decent in that game. They beat Texas Tech. They beat Kansas in the conference tournament. They have some quality wins, obviously, throughout their season. And then you look at Akron. I mean, I guess the comparable game for me is Yale on the neutral. Akron lost by 16. So if you can't hang with Yale on the neutral, I don't know. And then you look at St. Mary's. They also got smoked by. Obviously, that was on the road. Arkansas State, they lost somehow. That was early on in the season. Now you look at conference play. Yeah, they dominated, but how much you factored into the MAC? Colby, what are you doing? I'm looking towards Arizona, but
I can't forgive Arizona for burning up my bracket when Princeton beat them when I had them winning the national championship.
That was hilarious.
All right, and when I look at I see similarities in a way because Akron's got some guys that could fucking score. And one thing I just never trust about Tommy Lloyd's teams, I know you can pull up the Nugget. They're 110 defensively, but I just don't trust them. I think Akron can stay in this game. I don't know about the money line here. But I just think they can score enough to stay in this game.
Sean, it's the classic. They actually don't defend the 3-point line well, and Akron shoots threes well.
All right, I'll take the Zips.
What is the Cinderella story? Well, it's the team that shoots the 3 well gets hot. I just watched a Oakland, Kentucky highlight from last year.
Zips are good.
Jack Golke was fucking on fire.
Yeah,
he banked one halfway.
Zips are good enough from the line that I don't think it's going to be the deciding factor there. Although Arizona is above 77%, but as we mentioned in the commandments, it's stronger when the spread is shorter, a la Colorado State.
Yeah. All right, so we did it. We all are gonna. And I made the mistake of looking last year and seeing that Akron got thumped, but
but the time before that, they lost by 4 to UCLA in a game they probably should have won.
This is a new team, new year. Yeah. 6:25 on the West Coast. We're heading back to Raleigh, where Homa and is taking on Porter Moser versus Dan Hurley. Very electric matchup. UConn laying 4.5. 69.5 is the first half number. We're going under. Oklahoma money line stands out to me by a mile. Clearly, Hurley has lost control of this team. He's got players trying to fight like 1930s boxers out there at the end of the game.
It was
great.
Hey, put up your dukes, sir.
Doug McDermott humbled his ass like the little weasel that he is. That was very fun. It was very fun to see that. And while I'm not blindly betting all the SEC teams, and that is a great Sooner logo, nothing better than firing up the old Boomer Sooner tip overs when they take that turn a little too hard coming out of the tunnel.
So we calling this 4.5?
Oh, it's 5.5 on the
slide.
Well, you're
I saw 4.5 too.
you're the maestro over here,
I think you can get some 5s out
and you
there.
don't have a ton
Well,
of
let's
ethics when it comes to taking
Me?
the
What do you
objectively
mean?
correct number and helping yourself out.
No, Oklahoma is plus 5.5 over on DraftKings.
Really?
Promo code SGP. So that's what we'll call it as.
That's moved then. Moved in the last. If you're being truthful, it's moved in the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't need to fake my record. I'm the first 4 specialist.
Okay, I'm just
2-0,
saying.
bitch.
I'm just saying these numbers.
Let's see how you do ATS rest of the way. You've paid me a lot.
Well, I'm going to look this up and make sure you're not lying. Okay, the number has moved.
Oh well, thank God.
The number has moved. Sean is being truthful. Love Oklahoma even more.
So Kramer's going Oklahoma plus 5.5.
You know who's not in the tournament? Sister Jean. So I don't have to take sides.
Both teams shoot over 79% at the line.
Let's go.
I agree with a lot of the stuff.
Must see television for you.
Oh yeah, well, and that would lean me towards the towards Oklahoma. That would put me towards Oklahoma there at 5.5. Connecticut. I mean, Hurley has been good, very good. ATS. I mean, they've covered 12 of their last games. That is an insane run in the in tournament play to cover that many games.
Record breaking shit. I mean, we
No, seriously, like it's I think 10 was the record. Then they hit 10, 11, 12. We're finally, I think we're due for some sort of regression, and I could certainly see Connecticut winning this game and not covering because I like what I've seen out of Oklahoma. I think they match up decently well. Now, certainly Hurley has a bunch of experience. Him coming off a loss, I think could get this team fired up. But man, they seem a bit lost, and they had that little bit of a comeback against Creighton, and then they went unhinged late. I don't know if that's a good look. I'm kind of with you, Kramer. I'm going to take Oklahoma in the 5.5. Colby, what are you doing?
Yeah, I do think it's a little too steep. They're getting a little bit of love. I will take the 5.5. Oklahoma's been used to high pressure situations, meaning that they had to win these games to get in this spot, or at least be in those games to get in this spot. And I think UConn wins, but I think it comes down to the final little, 30 seconds there.
This is another one where love using KenPom and especially for seeing which teams
KenPom has this as like a 1 point game.
Can get to the line. Well, again, Oklahoma will get to the line. They're going to get fouled. They're a great free throw shooting team, and they're also. What is UConn? Why is UConn's defense bad this year? Because they don't defend the 3-point line.
It's not.
And so, which is something. Again, maybe they don't get hot, but if they do get hot, this is the money lines in play here.
What do you think? What do you make of that UConn logo?
You know what? It reminds me of Mel Gibson from The Patriot.
Maybe it was a dog.
First thing when I saw that, I said, "Oh, that's
Sooners." It reminds me.
Oh, that's Mel Gibson from The Patriot.
The Sooners. That reminds me of Oregon Trail. They're about to cock the wagon and float across, unless they. It was a less progressive time when they would be like, "Hey, do you want to hire an Indian guide for 20 items of clothing?" You go, "Yeah, sure, that seems like a good deal." And then your wagon sunk and it said the Indian tricked you and stole your clothing. All right, okay, well, fuck the Indians. Right. I guess that's the takeaway.
No, that's when you give them the blanket with smallpox.
Well, they didn't. There wasn't an option to click on that. Young Sean Green might have clicked on that. I didn't know any better.
You give them
know the atrocities.
You give them gifts for the cold winter. All right, next up would be in Cleveland, 6:45 p.m. It would be the winner of the Texas Xavier against Illinois game. I guess we will. We'll post our picks for these games at some point.
Yeah, download the SGPN app. Got all our picks there. Also has a link to the contests or sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Great place to get all our picks for free. You're welcome, America.
7 p.m. So we're up against the last couple of games here. I do think this game will most likely be pushed back to where it's tipping off close to the start time of our show, Sean. 8 p.m. Pacific on the West Coast, 11 p.m. East. For 3 hours on VSiN while the games are going on, and after a full 2 days of just apps.
We're gonna be hitting the wall. Tune in.
It's gonna be very very fun. Listen, 15 seed Bryant,
and check out the Patreon episode. We just taped a Patreon episode going up ASAP, and has a bunch of great March Madness stories. Colby sat in, reminiscing about a bunch of great times out in Vegas for March Madness. Some fun.
Yeah,
if you're not on Patreon. You get access to the sheets. You get the free pick'em, $100 entry. We usually give out $100 circuit ticket as the weekly prize. Shout out to Weehawk, who's now won 3 weeks.
Wow!
In the past year, the guy's on a heater. I just have a pile of Weehawk tickets. He keeps racking up Masters futures.
I like that.
I emailed him. I haven't heard back yet of what he wants. And I don't know if he wants his place public, so maybe I shouldn't announce it. Could move the number.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to
Michigan State, the 2 seed. The game is in Milwaukee, laying 17.5. 72.5 is the first half total. We're going under. This is a big number here for Michigan State. 17.5 against a very good Bryant team. Colby, is this maybe the best 15 seed?
Yeah, I was asked that earlier on. I
figured you might have an answer
on TV
on your favorite 15 seed
on live TV. I got to answer this one. No, I mean I think Bryant's got some guys. I mean Rafael Pinzon was a St. John's transfer. Earl Timberlake was at Miami. Those guys are P5 players. So I think those guys. And don't forget about Connor Old Man Withers. They got some guys. I think that kind of keeps them in this game. I think Michigan State is going to win the game, but I think the number's off by a little bit here. I think Bryant, loses by 11 or 12.
Disagree. Give me Michigan State. Michigan State could go on a little bit of a run. I get your hesitancy, but this is a very good Michigan State team. I know some of the analytics sites have this as high as 19, and why I really love them is Michigan State off a loss. They're 3-1-1 ATS off a loss. The fact that they got knocked out Saturday against Wisconsin, Tom Izzo has their attention, has them locked in. Hey, we cannot fuck around. We know we cost Sean a bunch of money way back in the day when he bet on us as a 2 seed and we lost outright to a 15 seed. That's not going to happen again.
Hear me out though. Look, they're just like Izzo's kind of like whether it's they just don't blow these teams out that much. Monmouth was not very good this season. They won by what? 24, right? Bowling Green with our boy Marcus Johnson won by 14. Samford they won by 12. No, Samford they only won by 8. I'm sorry.
Washington they won by
Western Michigan by 18, but
Washington they won by 34.
Team. Okay, but Bryant is better than Washington.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's just a little too many. I would say like 11 and a half.
I mean, yeah, the big spreads are tough because
kind of wild that Bryant's the number 6 average height team in the nation. Make that make sense.
This is just one of the better Michigan State teams I've seen. I'm sprinkling them to win the region.
They're going to advance for sure. It's just
coaching moment here. Bryant keeps it close. I'm with Colby. Can't believe you're
crazy.
You're fading Bryant. I mean, if this was Vermont, you'd be all over him.
What do you think that? You think he's got a good crossover?
The Michigan State guy.
Yeah.
I imagine wearing like full armor has got to hinder it a little bit, but maybe not. He's got that girly ass skirt that's part of his.
Let's
armor.
look at his current posture. He is falling over. He's not running. Look how leaned over he is, and he's on his left foot, but it looks like he took some contact and he's falling over.
Yeah, he's probably getting to the line and then gonna shoot some free throws where they are 79% from the line.
Sean, I think if this is
78.1.
If this is a traditional
7% difference.
If this is a traditional staple-filled Vermont team that wins the American East, this is like a 14.
What's their free throw percentage?
14-point spread. But because Bryant isn't quite the same type of team from the American East, people like you are.
I keep holy thy commandments. Over 77%. Smash. You guys are sinners. You don't listen to the commandments. We spent all this time breaking out the commandments, and they're like, this is the exception.
Well,
I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna covet my neighbor's ox. Like I saw Colby came into the show. He's talking about his neighbor in North Carolina, how sweet his ox was. It's like, Colby, don't do it, man. Don't sin. You're spitting in the face of the Lord.
You just mentioned how the bigger the spread, the less effective that trend is.
Yes, but it's still effective. It's less effective, but it's still effective.
Yes, less effective. 12-5 seed, last game on the card. The 5-12 matchup.
Quack.
How convenient. Oregon gets to play in Seattle as the 5 seed.
But a lot of Arizona fans will be there. So
Liberty, and I know a lot of people are hoping in their bracket they can get that old school Pac-12 matchup.
This is where we need CJ soundboard. Cultural gap.
Yeah,
Flaming Libs and then Oregon.
Liberty catching 7.5. I think in real time. The sheet does say 6.5. So we'll let the very honest Sean call the number here. 65.5 is the first half total. We're going under.
I mean, I just looked on, just double checked on DraftKings.
7.5.
They have it at 7.5.
Yeah, okay.
I like Oregon, so I would rather the 6.5. But I'm an honest gambler.
Wow, look at this. That's twice in a row. Basically a fireman.
I'll take the points here.
It's a bad play, Colby.
I'll take the points.
Oregon in Seattle. They're going to put it on this Liberty team again. Let's look at the. I got to get my readers out, but 76.3% from the line for Oregon, 65.4%. And if you're looking to take a frisky dog, you got to hit your free throws and you got to rebound your offensive missed shots. Liberty 361st in the nation in offensive rebounding. No way. Oregon is a team that's gonna, I think, has a chance to go on a run. Dana Altman and this team is playing very good. And that Michigan State, they lost to a better Michigan State team in the conference tournament, but that was on Friday. I like them coming off a loss. Before that, they beat Indiana and covered in the tournament. They beat Washington, OT, Indiana, USC, Wisconsin, Iowa, Rutgers, Northwestern. They've been on an incredible run. This is kind of they're like a better version of UNC gambling wise. A team that's coming in hot, that lost the conference tournament game very close, that has a great matchup and a great. I mean, Colby, for a guy who works in the crowd a bunch, you gotta like Oregon and Seattle, right?
True, but I also think the fact that Arizona's the game before. I think a lot of Arizona fans.
Grand Canyon. Well, that seems to travel well. Like, who will they be rooting for?
They probably don't like Oregon from the Pac-10.
That thing is going to be packed with Duck fans.
They'll have.
This is one of the few games I think the crowd matters.
I think I'm getting 7.5 now too, and don't sleep on Liberty's played one Power 5 this year.
Yeah, very good offense.
Kansas State, who they paid a lot of money for an NIL roster, and Richie McKay beat them. And don't forget, he is a Tony Bennett disciple. Like, this is a guy that's been a very good coach. He's great at making you feel uncomfortable. And they've won 9 of 10. The Flaming Libs are. You didn't mention that, did you?
Sorry. They beat FIU. They beat UTEP, New Mexico State.
And I can tell you this: if you're telling me
that's a little step up in class against this Oregon team.
But if you're telling me the Flaming Libs are going into the Climate Pledge Arena, well, I'm taking them.
What is
in
that?
Seattle. How does that?
Is that where the 5G?
Pledge Arena.
Is that where the 5G chips get put in your brain?
It's all about the pace too. I mean, Liberty loves to play really slow. I think they'll make them feel uncomfortable. they stay within the number. I think the Ducks probably win the game, but 7.5 is a big number for this Flamin' Libs team that's proven to be decent.
Now Liberty is good ATS as a dog. I think that's part of the handicap. But Oregon, Dana Altman, since joining in Oregon, 16-6-1 ATS in the tournament. He's one of the coaches you can trust. Give me Dana Altman. Laying the number. Kramer, what are you doing?
I'm with you. Although I like, to Colby's point, the Liberty's team could, like, they are the right sort of recipe. They're very good at offense. They understand what they're doing.
Not rebounding though. But yeah, if they don't miss shots,
very good at defense too. They
but
run they're Virginia.
Yeah,
they're basically
number 2.
Tony Bennett, Virginia.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. Number 2 effective field goal percentage on offense. Number 8 effective field goal percentage on defense. The concern is just that Oregon could just be bigger and badder.
Yeah.
More athletic, all that good stuff. But certainly an interesting element. And I'm kind of with Sean. I do think this game, if this game is in the middle of the country somewhere, probably can be talked into Liberty. But I'll lay the points with Oregon.
They're going to have the crowd. They're going to be rocking and rolling.
Look,
yes,
the Flamin' Libs in the Climate Pledge Arena. They're telling you, Sean.
it's true.
Look at that Oregon Duck. That thing's awesome. All right,
Give me my brain waves.
Time for some locks and a dog. We'll start with you, Kramer. 4 locks and a
4?
dog. What are you doing?
Hold on. 3. Yeah, we did 4 yesterday. Jesus Christ. All right. Lock number 1, St. Mary's. Lock number 2, Ole Miss.
St. Mary's Lane 4.5. Okay. Ole Miss Lane or getting 1.5.
Getting 1.5.
Trap. Oh, look at this nice little piece of meat randomly thrown in the forest. Oh, I'll just grab it. Free meat, not a trap. Keep going.
Not a trap.
No, definitely not.
Not a trap. Give me Memphis plus 1.5.
Oh no.
Well, that's good for you if you're trying to be the fade police over here. Out of principle, give me my Zips plus 13.5. And for my dog, Oklahoma money line.
Ooh, okay. UConn. All right, for me. This is interesting. I'm gonna go Baylor. Consensus play. I like our consensus play. They've been good to us so far this season. Baylor getting 1.5. I'm gonna go Colorado State. I'm on the island. One Mountain West team I feel very good about, and it's Colorado State. Next up, we got. I'll go. Let's see. I'll go Oklahoma plus 5.5, and then I got to take Oregon minus 7.5. I love Oregon.
I'm gonna unload my account on Ole Miss.
I would not do that. For a money line dog. Could go Baylor, but that's a tiny dog. No one wants to see Baylor get it. A little tiny dog there.
You can jump on the Oklahoma bandwagon if you want. Troy available for you.
You know what I said to Colby? I go, give me a plus 550. We've seen. I like leaning in the ideas of teams that have choked historically. Purdue, we've seen choke in the first round. Kentucky, we've seen blow it in the first round. Give me the Troy Trojans. Trojan man.
I've been inspired. Swap my money line. Oklahoma plus 5.5 now a lock. Akron money line.
Wow.
Plus 750. Now my dog.
You had to go big dog.
I didn't want you to.
Colby, what do you got? 4 locks and the dog.
Let's lock up the Memphis Tigers.
Nice pick. Great pick.
I will also lock up.
That's a double lock battle.
Yeah.
See, I don't think Sean can defend us. Is the shield?
Oh, you're gonna get banned from Mountain West Media Day. I talked to them. They're gonna rescind your press credentials.
Might not exist.
Well, if I'm going out, I'm going out. Give me Marquette as that second lock then against New Mexico.
That was a.
Yeah, I was on the fence on
close.
that. Colby talked me into it.
It's
And New
close.
Mexico not in the pit. It's just a different team. They're tough to handicap because they're so
I
damn
think that's
good.
the problem with
New
the
Mexico.
Mountain West teams. They're all very.
They
good.
all rely on elevation.
Yeah, and being at home.
And great home atmospheres. Yeah. The third lock. Let's go with the Bryant Bulldogs plus 17.5.
Damn.
I don't know about
going
that,
against Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like that. I don't know if
I always I don't lock up 116 215s out of principle.
Yeah,
Colby's his own man.
Yep, I like using the men's bathroom too.
And then you know what? I will be on. Let's go with. Man, that's tricky. This last one because you could think things. Ole Miss, get this North Carolina bullshit out of here.
Yeah, Colby.
You guys you guys didn't learn your lesson with New Mexico.
What do you mean?
Want a little more of that UNC action
With San Diego State, you mean?
Yeah, what did I say?
New Mexico. It's okay.
I've had a
buddy.
couple cocktails.
Yeah, have some cocktails. We'll be in Vegas tomorrow. Get ready now.
We're gonna get a negative review about that.
What? Because I made one simple mistake.
Earlier in the show, you called Iowa State Iowa.
But you know who's going to get a negative review is the Maryland Athletic Department that just gave Kevin Willard a shit ton of money after they lose outright to the Antelopes of Grand Canyon.
I don't like this play. I feel like you're chasing glory from Man in the Box. I'm gonna stand up for my guy. Well, I think I'm actually wearing a Man in the Box T-shirt.
Oh, shout out to Man in the Box, and still time.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Get in 20% off all our
Man
merch.
in the Box doesn't like how you're
Promo
stealing his thunder.
Madness. The graphic of Man in the Box makes him look way more Italian
What do you
than
mean?
he is in real life.
You know.
No, maybe he is part Italian. I don't know what his
he's a little Italian. I assume so. I mean, he's from the East Coast. Isn't everyone from the East Coast a little Italian?
Colby, just before we leave, Marquette, you're not worried that the Patino's at a summit and he gave him the secret recipe, if you will, the dine and dash on how to beat Marquette.
Nah, see, you got to remember the son is never better than the father. He can take his notes all he wants, but he can't do what he does. All right, there's only one Slick Rick Pitino.
Yeah, right? He did, but he did name him. Yeah.
How did Mike Shula do when he became a head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals compared to
the line cook over at Shula's Steakhouse?
David Shula, whatever. Either way, Don Shula was the OG. You couldn't fuck with him.
Only one Slick Rick, but there is a Slick Dick.
I know you like to think that Steve Belichick's the next.
Why did Pitino name his kid Dick?
Why not?
Slick Dick. I like that. We have Slick Rick and Slick Dick.
Get the Slick Dick Photoshop going. Use that same Slick Rick photo, but just put a dick hat on it. Awesome. With a New Mexico hat.
Awesome episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Smash that subscribe button. Toss us a thumbs up. Always appreciate it. Again, get in our contest there for the bracket contest for free. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket.
How much?
Trying to give away $2,000. Still time to get in on the rhythm. We will draw the rhythm winner at the party. $250 circa future.
I hear it's going to be a rager.
It seems like good turnout. So everyone who's coming out, come say hi and show up. Stadium Swim circus. Say you're there 4:30 Wednesday. Say you're there for the Rhythm SGPN party. And we'll be good to go. And this the Survivor contest is going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk a little Survivor strategy on tomorrow's episode, where we announce our bracket, who's winning it all, who's winning what region, who's moving on. We got it all. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Oh boy, Sean, it starts very soon.
Kramer, let it ride.